What's good, everybody? It's your brother New Breed coming through with another live stream. So China just condemned the United States in their strike against Venezuela. They also condemned the capturing of Maduro and his wife. And the terms war crime is floating around right now for obvious reasons. Ladies and gentlemen, World War III is coming. And we're looking at the last days of Babylon. Now, I want you all to keep in mind, in 2025 alone, the U.S. has bombed Yemen, Syria, Iraq, Venezuela, Nigeria, Somalia, and Iran. And it looks like right now, the odds are stacked up against us. And I mean, when I say us, I simply mean the U.S. It seems that odds are stacked against the U.S., but the arrogancy and pride is the driving, motivating force for this country right now. But you know, as the scriptures say, pride come before what? The fall. Let's get into it.
They working against us. They hate our souls. They hate us. They hate our righteous indignation. They hate the exhortation that dwells in us. They hate our well. They hate our conviction. They hate the fact that we repented. They hate the fact that we truthful, honest, and bold. They hate our courage. Them devils hate us. We're not finna line ourselves up with these weirdos and freaks. With these weirdos and freaks. They working against us. They hate our souls. Weirdos and freaks. But these weirdos and freaks, they working against us. They hate our souls. New breed.
Ephesians 6:10. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord, and in the power of his might put on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all, to stand. Stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked, and take the helmet of salvation, and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God, praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit, and watching thereunto with all perseverance and supplication for all saints.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. I want everybody to do me a solid and hit that like button on your way in. There's a lot going on in the world right now. What I want a lot of people to understand is when we address these topics, we're not discussing politics. We're discussing prophecy, biblical prophecy. And what we're witnessing is of biblical proportion. Now, on the third day of the new year, the so-called new year, Trump has already decided to wage war against Venezuela. And this is a warning to the nation. And I personally believe that Trump has been given a green light to do whatever he wants to do because he's going to be departing soon. You know, Trump just got another cognitive test done. A lot of specialists are online talking about Trump, and they're saying that he appears to have had some type of frontal lobe stroke, and he's running out of time. So what looks to be happening is he's bringing in the New World Order, or doing as much as he can to bring in the New World Order before his number is called. And it's really beginning to look that way. Because in an unprecedented turn of events, he struck Venezuela with a vicious aerial strike, kidnapped Maduro and his wife in the middle of the night. And right now, Venezuelan vice president is demanding that President Maduro be released immediately. And China has condemned the U.S. actions because China and Venezuela are working together. They provide oil for China. China provides funding for them. They have a working business relationship. And add insult to injury, Russia has troops in Venezuela already. Now, mind you, Trump only sent about 4,000 American troops out there to seize Venezuela. But could you guess how many Russian troops are stationed in Venezuela right now? Ladies and gentlemen, hundreds and thousands. Some people are even saying there's 1 million soldiers out there that are Russian-based soldiers. So I don't think people quite comprehend what's going on a global scale. Now, this is very much serious because America has been known to be bullies. And now there will be consequences and repercussions. But what we got to do as God's people is stay prayed up, stay in the right spirit. Of course, we're not operating in fear. We're only making ourselves aware of the inevitable, that war is coming. He did this very early on in the year. But I want to go to some sources here because, you know, some people are laughing at what this guy is saying. They're not taking this serious what he's saying, but he's actually right on this one. Not saying I agree with everything this guy posts, but he's actually very much correct on what he's saying here. And I want to go there.
Be able to defeat Venezuela, and that is a fact. Maduro's military is one of the strongest and most equipped in South America, and their beaches right now are fortified with Russian, Iranian, and Chinese anti-air systems. These are terrifying America's Air Force. Venezuela also has 5 million reserves, including 8 more civilian reserves, who are trained for urban warfare. The U.S. has deployed the invasion force in the circled area in Trinidad and Tobago, and aircraft carriers are already seen near the island. Here's the problem. Venezuela has been given Russian and Iranian missile systems that will turn any American naval ship into dust. Maduro also has one of the highest approval ratings in South America. That country is ready to fight for him. Trump has made it clear there will be land operations in Venezuela. He's confirmed this. And as of right now, there's only 5,000 Marines as an invasion force for the entirety of Venezuela. That's not going to be enough, and we could see a drastic fail that will taint America's military forever.
Now, I know you all seen that, a lot of the Venezuelans are celebrating and, they're happy about this so-called regime change. Yeah, my bad, I didn't mute the mic. I got y'all next time. But I know that, they were out there celebrating now. Good for them. They're out there celebrating as if there's going to be some change by putting Trump in control of Venezuela. Somebody get, let me see. Yeah, thank you. Right on time. Thank you, sister. Getting them out of there. Because one thing about it, we not operating on fear over here. We just keeping y'all abreast to what's going on in society. We keep y'all very much aware. The person who was in here projecting, that person is petrified of what's happening because they're not right with the Most High. But nonetheless, the Venezuelans are celebrating because that's what they've been trained to do. Celebrate imperialism. Now, I want you to think about all the other countries that celebrated after America took it over. And think about where they at right now. I want you to think about all the other countries that celebrated America coming in, conducting a regime change. And I want you to think about the state of those countries right now. What are they looking like right now? Some of these countries are looking like wastelands. And if they think that Donald Trump has Venezuela's best interests in mind, they're sadly mistaken. But see, the people, they don't know. And I'm not saying that Maduro was an angel or a saint. To be quite frank with you, I don't know. But what I will say, if he was a dictator, why not remove all dictators? Why is the America messing with countries they believe they can defeat? Even though they're underestimating the guerrilla warfare. And I do believe that some of it is propaganda. Christy, I do agree with that they put out propaganda when most Venezuelan people could very well support and stand with Maduro. But the U.S. media will put out that the people are celebrating. And you never know, some of those videos where you see those hundreds and thousands of people marching through the streets, that can be AI. Let's just keep it a buck. That can be AI. So don't let these people lead you astray. These people were just bombed. I seen the footage of people reacting to those missiles flying in the middle of the night, and they were petrified. I would be shocked if they out there marching, thanking the United States government the very next day. That's some things I want you to consider. You think they're going to be out there thanking the United States government the very next day? Do you know what those strikes did? I heard the screeching hollers. I heard the cries from children. I seen footage of people standing on their balconies as missiles was raining in. You mean to tell me in just hours later, everybody's in the street celebrating? I don't think so. See, for this type of evil, America will have to pay for what it's doing, biblically and prophetically. Now, the streets are reacting. My For You page is going crazy right now. My For You page is going crazy right now. The people are talking. But before we get into that, I'm going to show you the real reason. Yeah, the real reason why they bombed Venezuela. Some of you may already know. But I want you to hear from public officials from the United States. I want you to hear it from them directly.
Of course, the countries, Cuba, Venezuela, and Nicaragua with Russia relationships. Why this region matters with all of its rich resources and rare earth elements. You've got the lithium triangle, which is needed for technology today. 60% of the world's lithium is in the lithium triangle, Argentina, Bolivia, Chile. You just have the largest oil reserves, light sweet crude, discovered off of Guyana over a year ago. You have Venezuela's resources as well with oil, copper, gold. We have the Amazon, lungs of the world. We have the 31% of the world's fresh water in this region too. I mean, it's just off the charts. We have a lot to do. This region matters. It has a lot to do with national security. And we need to step up our game.
Now, you heard it. Now, there's footage of Trump saying that Cuba is next. Not Cuba, Colombia, pardon me. You got footage of Trump saying Colombia is next. I mean, he said, you hear me? I hope you're watching. You're next. So what you see is these people going out for this resource grab. And this lithium, copper, all these vital minerals are also going to be used for warfare and the advancement of technology. See, y'all got to understand Trump's time is running out and J.D. Vance is going to be the next president. And once J.D. Vance is in office, you know, the man who was promoted by Peter Tosh, you know, the guy who owns all of the AI you see today. It ain't Elon, believe it or not. It's Peter Tosh. And those were some of the people, Peter Tosh and his crew was some of the people that was actually funding J.D. Vance. So when Trump is gone, so y'all wonder why Trump is doing what he's doing. Trump is crashing out. The man's 80 years old. The man is 80 years old. The man is crashing out. Once J.D. Vance is in office, they're going to need all those minerals for what? For the next AI push. And the AI that they're pushing is going to be, listen, it's going to be a total financial reset. They're setting the stage for this. But first and foremost, they're going to need war because war is going to give them the funding and the resources. Yeah, Trump been crashing out since last year, but he's on it. He is on it for real. Now, China is already denouncing these attacks, and we should be very aware of that.
Breaking news, China has completely denounced the U.S. strikes in Venezuela, including us capturing their president, which is absolutely illegal and totally insane. The U.S. is acting like a rogue terrorist state under war criminals Donald Trump, J.D. Vance, and Pete Hegseth. And by the way, this is significant because not only does China have a relationship with Venezuela, but Chinese delegates were meeting in Caracas, the capital city, just hours before this attack. A Chinese envoy was there having talks with Maduro. Donald Trump may have have saw that. He may have wanted to strike during this time, maybe to send a message to China. And what's going to happen if China wants to annex Taiwan, which, by the way, many people in China actually support that. In fact, people in Taiwan support that. It's a very nuanced situation, much more different than what we're told here in the U.S. Well, now they have more excuses to do whatever they want because they see the United States going into another country, acting like a rogue imperialist terrorist state, and just destroying a capital city, stealing a president, and now we're going to install a Trump-backed dictator in Venezuela. Way to go, folks. Breaking news, China has completely denounced.
So Trump got the world's attention with this one. He did all this without Congress involved. The war is coming to America. It's coming. And you know, I want to go to some scriptures here. The scriptures tell us about what we are witnessing right now. And I want to make it very clear what we're witnessing right now. I want everybody to get the likes up on the video. Support the material because we going in, man. We are going in. And according to the scriptures, let me get this here. I'll give me one. I want to first start off in sorry about that. This thing is look like I have to pull my tab back up. So I'm going to play this a little bit and I'm going to have to re-pull this back up. Sorry about that, y'all. Meantime, in between time, go to our next source and I'm going to grab y'all some script.
Venezuela, they got a little bit too much oil. America's going to go in there and take the oil. We're not going to steal the oil profits. Venezuela can have that. The only thing we're going to do is make sure they switch them to American dollars only. Because right now, the British is trying to take America.
Now, this is key right here. What this guy just brung out is facts. We're going to get to the scriptures. Don't worry. Y'all know what we do over here. What this guy just brung out is facts. He said that he don't care if Venezuelans get the money. But here's the key. Let's make sure that they're taking American dollars. Now you got to understand how key that is because Trump was very specific when he said, we're going to send our American oil companies over there to extract more oil for the country so Venezuela can get the money. See, that was a loophole right there. Because yes, they will get the money, but guess what? They're going to have to now take American currency for that. And listen, any country that takes the dollar as its number one exchange, America rules it for the long haul. America rules it for the long haul. See, when you accept those death notes, that's all that matters. This is real talk right here now. Let's go.
Money out of circulation. So now we're trying to get that Venezuelan oil, and as soon as we take that, it's going to be checkmate to BRICS, checkmate to Russia, checkmate to China, checkmate to everyone else who thinks they're going to fuck with American supremacy.
It's just not going to work that way. It's not. And this is what the average MAGA supporter believes, that, America just checkmated BRICS. No, it didn't. No. Pride truly comes before the fall. If you believe, oh, my bad, I know it's a little bit of an echo. But if you believe America just checkmated BRICS by that move they just made, you're sadly mistaken. I'm going to play this again.
Venezuela, they got a little bit too much oil. America's gonna go in there and take the oil. We're not gonna steal the oil profits. Venezuela can have that. Only thing we're gonna do is make sure they switch them to American dollars only. Because right now, BRICS is trying to take American money out of circulation. So now it's trying to get that Venezuelan oil, and as soon as we take that, it's gonna be checkmate the BRICS, checkmate to Russia, checkmate to China, checkmate to everyone else who think they're gonna fuck with American supremacy. Venezuela, they got a little bit too much oil. America's
All right, so my bad, y'all. All right, so my bad, I got muted. Some people left when I got muted instead of being patient, but we're going to go back. I got to find out a way where I don't have to mute my mic every time I play a source because it's distracting. But thank y'all for letting me know. I appreciate y'all. Put a 1 if y'all can hear me and we back in action. I'm going to repeat what I just said. I went to a scripture here, and it's a very important scripture. I want to go to Matthew. Actually, we're going to go to Luke 21:9, and it reads, "And when ye shall hear of wars and commotions, be not terrified, for these things must first come to pass. Then said he unto them, Nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom." See, what we're about to experience is commotions. There's going to start with instability. There's going to be protests. There's going to be coups, strikes, and confusion. That's going to be the first stage of this war. A lot of commotion. A lot of protests, a lot of strikes, a lot of confusion. This is how the war begins, brothers and sisters. That's how it starts. And right now, what we're seeing is the beginning of all of that. This is where we're at with it right now. Now, we're going to continue to go down and evaluate these sources. The streets are talking. The streets are talking.
Let me be crystal fucking clear. If you are a United States soldier and you participated in the attack on the sovereign country of Venezuela, helping to kidnap the president of that country and his wife, you are a war criminal. Yeah, you're a war criminal. I was following orders. Do not apply. That is not in your oath. Your oath is to the Constitution, and only Congress can declare war, and that did not happen. You personally are a war criminal right now. You should surrender yourself to the authorities right now, because we're going to come after you, because you are a war criminal. Hopefully the rest of you United States soldiers can wake the fuck up and start following your oath.
Now, that's the reason why earlier on this year, Trump made a threat that if anybody go against any type of command given from the top, Trump said that that would be punishable by death. There was a reason he did that earlier this year, because he knew that he would be conducting war crimes right now. And the military is afraid to speak up. Right now, you got like 5,000 soldiers placed in there in Venezuela. And they're actually surrounded by hundreds and thousands of soldiers and don't even know it. He's putting our troops in harm's way after an illegal procedure. Why? Only because they took the commands. And make no mistake about it, they are war criminals. At this point, that makes you a war criminal. And I know Dirty Maga don't want to hear it, but truthfully speaking, this was going on. You have a president that went rogue and militarized his government position. And he literally formed his own militia. He turned the United States government into his own personal militia. That's what he did. It's an immense abuse of power. And he really put them on a dummy mission. And I don't think people quite comprehend what he just did with our United States soldiers. Trump has no idea what the hell he's doing. Or he does know what he's doing, and he's just doing it as much of it until time runs out. And Kim, I got your source. I'm going to check that out momentarily.
So Trump activated 4,000 Marines to go fight in Venezuela against Maduro. Just guess how many militiamen Maduro just activated in response. I'll give you a second. Did you say 4.5 million? Good luck, Marine! This is your Vietnam! I didn't know that Venezuela was how you say Vietnam in Spanish. Watch out for the bouncing Betties! So Trump activated 4,000 Marines to go fight in Venezuela against Maduro. Just guess how many militiamen Maduro just activated in response. I'll give you a second.
Man.
Did you say 4.5 million? Good luck, Marine. This is your Vietnam. I didn't know that Venezuela was how you say Vietnam in Spanish.
Yo, this is a bad look. I don't think a lot of our citizens understand what Trump just did. World War III is coming. It's coming. Joel 3:9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war. Prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. See, right now, you're going to have a situation where a lot of the nations are going to have to convert their civilians into weapons. That's what's going to happen because the lines are being blurred to the point of no return. A lot of those countries over there are going to have to practice guerrilla warfare like they've been doing, but they're going to have to convert their civilians. That's how real it is. The war that's coming, it's going to have to be ordinary civilians getting themselves together, including us in America. Including us in America. We got to get ready. We got to get ready mentally, physically, and spiritually. Because it has begun. It has begun.
Something bad is going to happen in America this year. And it's going to be an attack. And it's going to be internal. And it's going to be something that ups the stakes from what we've seen thus far. I don't want this to happen. I hope it's averted. I hope it's avoided. But the increase in the rhetoric, the increase in the ante of what it takes to get attention feels just so eerily similar to where we were after 9/11, and when the bad guys knew that they could get our attention, that they knew that if they did something to hurt us, it would really hurt us in that moment. Something bad is going to happen in America this year. And
I mean, something has been going wrong in America for the last couple of years. But things seem like they're going from bad to worse. And Trump, he's on a tear. He's not stopping.
You already talked to Nicolas Maduro. Have you considered talking to the president of Colombia, who you call a drug dealer?
No, I haven't really thought too much about him. He's been fairly hostile to the United States. I haven't given him a lot of thought. He's going to have himself some big problems if he doesn't wise up. Colombia is producing a lot of drugs. They have cocaine factories that they make cocaine, as you know, and they sell it right into the United States. So he better wise up, or he'll be next. He'll be next too. And I hope he's listening. He's going to be next.
You already talked to Nicolas Maduro. Have you considered talking to the president of Colombia, who you call a drug dealer?
Yo, this man is a warmonger. He's a warmonger. Bible prophecy is unfolding. Psalms 2:1. Why do the heathens rage? And the people imagine a vain thing. The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together. That's what's happening right now. War posturing, world leaders aligning themselves, plotting, taking hard stances and hard positions. That you do this or else. That's where we're at right now on the global stage. Yeah, the man is colonizing, doing a world tour invasion. You said it. Imagine on a Sabbath day, this man kidnaps another world leader and his wife, bombs them in the middle of the Sabbath, but claims he's the first Jewish president. Getting real janky out here, real flaky out here. These heathens are raging out. And let me make this clear. At the end of all of this warfare, God's people are going to come out on top. We talk about these things for a reason. After it's all said and done, God's true chosen people will reign supreme. The Most High is he's just removing these people. He's just removing these people. The Venezuela's defense minister has already said that, look, they're not standing down.
Historia nos llama. Que el grito de la patria libre retumbe en cada rincón.
They didn't put the translation up, so I'm not going to share this one, but in the newspaper article, it says that Venezuela is calling for war against America as well. Now, mind you, Iran just said they calling for war against America. Everybody seems to be calling for war against America. And if you look at the comment section, people are laughing. Let me explain. People are laughing. People don't believe. Look, this is America for you. Prideful, arrogant, everywhere you turn. Y'all got to understand the gospel that we preaching over here, the prophecy we preaching, we're like Noah. This is like the days of Noah. Everybody thinks America is so strong that it can't be. Nobody can touch America. Everybody's laughing, but it's not a laughing matter. War is not funny when you know this country is on the wrong side of history and it's straight bullying people. The bully always gets The bully always gonna get his time. You should have learned that a long time ago. And some people are saying, well, since when have America been the bad guy? Since 1776. That's when. Since 1776, they've been the bad guy. Sister 1973, thank you for the support. She shares Isaiah 58:6. And it reads, is not this the fast that I have chosen, to loose the bands of wickedness, to undo the heavy burdens, and to let the oppressed go free, and that ye break every yoke? Absolutely. Everything that's happening right now is for the greater good of those who are chosen. And the Most High is breaking the bands of our oppression, breaking the strongholds, breaking the yokes. And we're going to come out of this unscathed with great substance. So when I make these videos, this is a warning to the nations. This is a warning to the heathens and a warning to the Gentiles that you need to grab the coattail of the children of God, the real biblical Israelites. And you need to depart from the ways of this world. Don't be like these people in that comment section over there that just think everything is a joke and a game. No, World War III is really coming. And when austerity measures kick in and it becomes a reality, then and only then you're going to stop laughing and realize how real it is. And I'll be like a Noah. I'll keep warning the people. And I know you brothers and sisters can relate. Y'all can see it clear as day. It's not a joke. This stuff is not a game. This man, the third day of the so-called New Year, kidnapped somebody and their wife, took over a country. Then bombed 7 countries in 1 year.
We're going to run the country until such time as we can do a safe, proper, and judicious transition. So we don't want to be involved with having somebody else get in, and we have the same situation that we had for the last long period of years. So we are going to run the country until such time as we can do a safe, proper.
So this man just stole a country last night. The man stole a whole country last night, y'all. On the third day of the year. Stole a country. I want to go to the book of Haggai. 2 and 6. And it reads, yet once, it is a little while, and will shake the heavens and the earth and the sea and the dry land, and I will shake all nations. See, global instability is not accidental. The Most High God is allowing a great shaking up. And while things are being shook up, we got to make sure we staying woke. We got to make sure we staying aware. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Now, we got to go to what China said is blatant rejection of Washington's interference in Venezuela and Venezuela's affairs.
And China reiterates its rejection of foreign interference in Venezuela's internal affairs. Foreign Ministry spokesperson Mao Ning confirmed Beijing's condemnation of any action that violates the purposes and principles of the UN Charter, respect for sovereignty and regional security. In this regard, Beijing urged Washington to promote international cooperation through legal frameworks that guarantee peace and stability in Latin America and the Caribbean. Since the United States military deployment in the Caribbean, China has joined the list of countries that have expressed their support for Venezuela.
So China is rocking with Venezuela. And so is Russia. BRICS might hit like a ton of bricks. Are you hearing me? Bricks may hit back like a brick. This stuff ain't no joke. And it's a lot of developments right as we speak, man. Venezuela's VP calls and demands the immediate release of Maduro. They should let Maduro go. Let him go back home. They should let him go back home.
Out of Venezuela, the de facto leader there has now for the first time appeared on camera, demanding the immediate release of Nicolas Maduro and his wife, calling their capture a kidnapping. Right now, meantime, Maduro, in that image you see him, it was posted by President Trump. He is on his way to the United States to face drug
It is a damn kidnapping.
trafficking charges in the Southern District of New York. Meanwhile, the vice president of Venezuela, Maduro's vice president, her name is Delcy Rodriguez. She just spoke. We've got the audio in now. I want to play for you what she just said to Trump.
We demand the immediate release of President Nicolas Maduro and his wife, the only president of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela.
Coming out against Trump. And that is extremely significant, not just because she saw what happened hours ago to the guy on top of her, but also because President Trump, about 2 hours before that video came out, said that Delcy Rodriguez was on board with the U.S. plan. He said that she was willing to do whatever is necessary to, in his words, make Venezuela great again, and that she was doing what he wanted. Here he is.
Who's going to take over? I mean, there is nobody to take over. You have a vice president who's been appointed by Maduro, and right now she's the vice president, and she's, I guess, the president. She was sworn as president just a little while ago. She had a long conversation with Marco, and she said, we'll do whatever you need. I think she was quite gracious, but she really doesn't have a choice.
Okay, we'll do whatever you need, she said to Marco Rubio, and that she really doesn't have a choice. And she just said, this is a kidnapping and send him back, and essentially thumbing her nose at Trump. All right, Kevin Liptak joins us live from West.
I mean, what can we call this other than a damn kidnapping? Somebody says, yeah, he lied, said the VP will do whatever he needs. Yeah, this is my thing. Maduro wanted to sit at the round table and have a conversation and work something out. All of this could have been completely avoided. But these people have a spirit moving in them, man. There's a spirit going on with these people where they war thirsty. Let's continue. Let's play this a little bit and see.
Palm Beach, Florida. So the timeline, Kevin, is that Trump said what I just played, and then within 2 hours, we got the statement from Vice President Delcy Rodriguez of Venezuela, which I just played. So now we're awaiting Trump's response to that. What does this actually mean? You are there in Mar-a-Lago with the president. What's the response from him?
Yeah, and I don't think it will be a favorable response from the president. You know, he did sound fairly confident that Rodriguez would be going along with this plan. You know, after that press conference, he gave a phone call to the New York Post, and actually Rodriguez came up in that conversation. He was asked if U.S. troops would be on the ground in Venezuela running that country, and what he said was, quote, no, if Maduro's vice president, if the vice president does what we want, we won't have to do that. And then he goes on to say, we're prepared, you know, we have a second wave that's much bigger than the first one. And so I do think, you know, now that Rodriguez is coming out and suggesting that she is not, in fact, on board with what the United States is doing down there, the president does seem to be setting up the prospect that the U.S. could go in with a second round of strikes. You know, he alluded to that in his press conference.
Trump is not going to stop. At this point, there's no turning back. These bloodthirsty demons on a warpath. And no matter what, there's no reasoning with the devil. Now, could you imagine sitting there trying to make a deal with the devil? all of these black and brown people have to be unalive because you got one orange maniac that's on the Epstein files. Let's just call it what it is. Because he's on the list, being implicated for violating JITs, all of this has to go on. Because that's what it is. Dirty, rotten devil. Yeah, it ain't gonna work. You ain't gonna be able to negotiate with Lucifer. Ain't no negotiating with Lucifer. The Venezuelan people are good people. The Venezuelan people are peaceful people. Let's just call it what it is. Black and brown people worldwide are under the threat of these colonizers. And I say worldwide. All because this devil wanted to go out here and blow Bubba on an island and align himself with a weirdo and a freak. We got to deal with this. Let's just call it what it is. Let's call it what it is.
Said that perhaps he didn't think it would be necessary, but saying pretty explicitly that he was ready to order that if the remnants of the Venezuelan regime didn't necessarily, accede to the U.S. Running the country, which is what he said they would be doing. I think all of this just underscores how little we know about what exactly the U.S. role is going to be in Venezuela going forward. After the president came out and really kind of shocked all of us by saying that we, the United States, in his words, would be running Venezuela, and then offered essentially no details about what that meant. This back and forth now between the president and the vice president of Venezuela only, I think, emphasizes how little we understand of how this will all proceed going forward. And now, of course, you hear the president suggesting that there could be a U.S. military role to ensure that the U.S. is able to run Venezuela.
So there's going to be more fighting. There's going to be more bombing, more strikes, because they got to make sure they're able to run Venezuela. Trump came out earlier and said, "Look, so let me help you follow these chain of events that's going on right now. After kidnapping Venezuela president and wife, after airstrikes, they have the president and wife, and their vice president decides, hey, you need to let our president go. We're demanding." Trump is like, hold on, you're demanding? Demanding? Demanding. You know what? Maybe we're going to have to bomb y'all again. Now, he already alluded to that earlier, that it may take another strike. Now, here's something interesting. China, there was a convoy carrying Chinese dignitaries just 1 hour before Trump sent those missiles. There was a Chinese convoy full of dignitaries that just left Venezuela. So imagine how China's feeling about this. Imagine how Russia's feeling about this. Boy, man, I'll tell you, man, Proverbs 17 and 23. It says, a wicked man taketh a gift out of the bosom to pervert the ways of judgment. A wicked man accepts bribe behind the back to pervert the ways of justice. Yep. And that's been Trump's whole career and his whole presidency. A janky businessman that got a hold of the button, the red button.
He said in that press conference he wasn't afraid of boots on the ground. When I followed up with him and asked, does he envision a prolonged U.S. military presence in that country, he didn't really answer, and he sort of pivoted to talking about the oil, which we know has been sort of a preoccupation of his in Venezuela. And so, this is all setting up quite a dramatic, I think, day or week ahead as the U.S. works to ascertain who exactly is claiming power in Venezuela and works to assert their own power that the president now suggests that the U.S. has in Caracas, but without necessarily explaining what exactly that looks like and what exactly that could mean for the U.S. military going forward.
Kevin Liptak, thank you very much in Palm Beach by Mar-a-Lago, or you were in that press conference with the president, an hour-long press conference, I should note. Let's go live now back to Caracas, where Mary Mina has been on the ground for us throughout the day.
There's no way that I can believe that Venezuelan people are really celebrating. I highly doubt that. I don't believe that that is real at all. And the truth is the people are probably mourning, because I'm over here looking at some stuff and Maduro's approval rate is sky high. Nothing like Trump's approval rate. I'm guessing this is the source.
I'm not even going to play around anymore. Hit me with the words. Iraq, Venezuela, go! We're giving them full opportunity to do it the easy way. And when it doesn't work, we'll do it the hard way.
If we could do things the easy way, that's fine. And if we have to do it the hard way, that's fine too.
Chemical weapons is a threat to the United States. Fentanyl poses a chemical weapons threat to the United States.
Al-Qaeda terrorists inside Iraq.
Al-Qaeda of our hemisphere.
If we can get rid of Saddam, it could really begin to transform the region.
There's an opportunity to transform the entire region.
Bringing freedom and democracy.
Democracy and freedom can serve as a beacon of hope.
I'm not even going to play around.
Man, it's the same thing over and over. It's the same thing.
Scrum in what looks like maybe a gray or blue sweatshirt. We saw him a little bit earlier on the image that the president posted, blindfolded and handcuffed, and it appears maybe he's still blindfolded in a gray sweatshirt, which would likely come off as blue, given the daylight scenario, the lack of daylight over there. Again, Ambassador Bolton, Scrum in what looks like maybe a gray or blue sweatshirt.
They put that man in a Nike Steep Tech jacket. And see, it's nothing new under the sun. Same playbook. Trump hit you with, this is what Trump did. He hit you with all of their talking points at once. Wars that they can never win, like a war against drugs. You're never going to win a war against drugs. That's stupid. You go kidnap this guy, and how does that stop drugs? Gangs are going to continue to make and produce and ship drugs. You said that weapons of mass destruction. We never won no war against that either. A dictator. We're going against a dictator. He threw everything at you at once. Same old story, same old playbook. So they can do the same thing they did to Muammar Gaddafi, Saddam Hussein. Who else, y'all? List them in the chat. Who else did they do the same playbook to? Osama bin Laden. And now Maduro is on the list. Now they claiming Maduro is some drug lord. Now I don't know. Maybe he is, maybe he's not. But this is not our country and none of our damn business. How about that part? That ain't our country and none of our damn business. As if America don't make drugs. As if the CIA don't oversee all the drugs coming into America. Let's stop it. Let's stop the playing the damn games. As if the damn CIA don't got their hands in the drug cartels and the pipelines, as if they don't know everything coming over this junk. Stop playing with us. We can see. Somebody said it, same play every time. Same damn play every time.
Sure, we saw him a little bit earlier on the image that the president posted, blindfolded and handcuffed, and it appears maybe he's still blindfolded.
Look how he getting carried out. It don't look like this was no top-notch sting operation to extract this man, like they tried to make it sound. It looked like a bunch of American cops going to this man's house while he was asleep.
A gray sweatshirt, which would likely come off as blue, given the daylight scenario, the lack of daylight.
Yeah, if anybody's seen Snowfall, if anybody know of a drug dealer named Rick Ross, Frank Lucas, you already know that they set the drugs up in our community. And all of a sudden, the president trying to convince us that he got an issue with drugs. In Los Angeles, there's a documentary that I watched not too long ago where they said, look, they woke up in the hood and there was crates full of drugs and guns. The kids found the crates, ended up sick to their stomach and tweaking because they found crates of cocaine that seeped through their pores. Dropped it smack dab in the middle of the hood. But listen, a black or brown person always gotta be the scapegoat. It's always gotta be El Chapo or this one or that one. They didn't turn a president of another country into El Chapo overnight. Look, Trump did this in a week's time, turned this president of a whole country into El Chapo. And we ain't supposed to see what they doing?
Over there. Again, Ambassador Bolton scrum in what looks like maybe a gray or blue sweatshirt. We saw him a little bit earlier on the image that the president posted, blindfolded and handcuffed, and it appears maybe he's still blindfolded in a gray sweatshirt, which would likely come.
I tell you, boy.
President Trump promised to get America, as you know, out of foreign wars, not start new ones. Would he be going against that promise if he did, in fact, go to war with Venezuela?
Absolutely not. If you're an American and you want Maduro...
Yo, thank you for the support. Greasy A says, Trump took a page out of Putin's book, like Ukraine, right?
To stay in power? Man, have you lost your way.
Ask yourself, why are we about to go to war with Venezuela? You might think it's because of oil, which is always a factor, but in this case, I don't think it's the main driver, despite what the mainstream media is trying to tell us. The real reason, I think, is because a certain other foreign country told us to, allegedly. This is reporting from...
I wonder which country that is.
Most popular newspaper in Israel. They say, quote, since Hugo Chavez's rise to power, Venezuela has become one of the most hostile countries to Israel and Zionism in Latin America. His successor continued the anti-Israel line with even more intensity. Thus, Venezuela, which previously maintained warm relations with Israel and even purchased security technologies from it, became a center of hostile propaganda towards Zionism and the Jewish state. Yep, they want to get rid of Maduro to install this lady named Maria Corina Machado. She was asked, will you restore diplomatic relations with Israel and establish Venezuela's embassy location in Jerusalem, as President Donald Trump did? And she replied, quote, yes, certainly. Venezuela will be Israel's closest ally in Latin America. We rely on Israel's support in dismantling Maduro's crime regime and in the transition to democracy. Together, we will lead a global struggle against crime and terror. The Venezuelan people deeply admire Israel and will always defend its right to live in peace without threat to its existence. Also, another tell, if you didn't know this, is that Lindsey Graham, the senator of South Carolina, is literally in Tel Aviv receiving these marching orders.
President Trump promised to get...
I mean, that doesn't strike me to any surprise. That doesn't strike me to any surprise. I mean, Those two countries have been thick as thieves, two peas in a pod. And, the crazy part of it, America's the ones who's going to have to deal with the consequences. Regardless if they're taking orders or not, or just going with our country's allies' narratives, doesn't matter. Guess who's going to have to pay the consequences? America. America's going to have to pay, regardless of why they did it. They did it, and America's going to have to pay. Straight up. Straight up. Yeah, I mean, and now Venezuela's president. Okay, so they arrived. Maduro and his wife just arrived in New York. They arrived in New York.
Nicolas Maduro and his wife are expected to board a helicopter any moment heading to New York City to face charges related to their alleged involvement in narco-terrorism. The 4 counts include narco-terrorism, conspiracy, cocaine importation, conspiracy, possession of machine guns and destructive devices, and conspiracy.
Damn, they trying to hit. Oh, they trying to hit Maduro over the head. And is it a possibility he'll be found innocent? Hell no. He's not being judged by his peers. There's no witnesses to link him to any cartels. They just snatched him and his wife up, and now they're listing the charges. I mean, this is just straight up unorthodox. They did the same thing to Saddam Hussein back in the the late 90s. And they got Saddam Hussein on war charges, they lynched this man on public TV. That's the first time I've seen a public lynching in my life. How many of y'all remember that? They showed Saddam Hussein get lynched on TV, on the 9 o'clock news, bro. I'm talking about they showed the floor open up and they hung this man. I watched it on TV, like on regular TV. I'm telling you, it was the most gruesome thing I've seen on national TV. How many of y'all remember that? How many of y'all early 80s babies remember that? They put him on like a wooden floor that opened up, the floorboard removed, and the camera showed this man just swinging, I'm talking about the joint drop, and I think it killed him instantly, and he was just a fatality. That's what America did, bro. Yeah, I was in like middle school too, and I'm like, yo, they really showed that. That really happened.
Maduro and his wife are expected to board a helicopter any moment heading to New York City to face charges related to their alleged involvement in narco-terrorism. The 4 counts include narco-terrorism, conspiracy, cocaine importation, conspiracy, possession of machine guns and destructive devices, and conspiracy to possess machine guns and destructive devices. Joining us now.
Man, they gonna hit Maduro over the head. Y'all, they gonna let his wife go?
Fox News legal analyst Greg Jarrett. Greg, thanks so much for joining us. We really appreciate your legal expertise here. Take us through the charges and what will the prosecution focus on?
Well, this proves, I think, Johnny, the long arm of American law extends well beyond our borders, and the U.S. has ample legal authority to capture and arrest a known fugitive under federal criminal indictment for, as you point out, drug trafficking, money laundering, all kinds of conspiracy.
I mean, how does America have the legal right to do this when Congress had nothing to do with it? And for the person who keeps saying, I'm muted, no sound, somebody time him out. Perhaps he's behind in the stream, But you got to know how to watch a live stream, man. It's distracting if you're saying there's no sound, when in actuality, you're not caught up in the live. You got to make sure that little red line is active, is up to date. So we got to time you out. All right, it says false alarm, but we're going to give you 10 minutes.
Charges, and it happens regardless of who it is. You know, a wanted narco-terrorist is not shielded by his status as the head of state. The U.S. recognizes no legal immunity under international law for illegitimate rulers like Maduro. Our courts have previously endorsed that position when Noriega was captured back in 1989. And here, Maduro maintained power in an obviously crooked election, the last one in 2024. 70% of the vote went to his opponent, Gonzalez. Neither Trump nor Biden viewed him as the elected head of state, Maduro that is, but instead as, you know, a fugitive outlaw who ran a drug cartel that poisoned Americans. And you know, there's no treaty or legal document or valid law that prevents our military from going into Venezuela and arresting Maduro by force. You know, nobody seemed to
Yo, Fox News, they're going to be with whatever Trump is with, bro. Fox News going to be with whatever Trump is with. They do not care at all.
complain when Obama used military force in places like Somalia and Yemen and Pakistan, obviously Iraq and Afghanistan, Libya. And the same people who cheered that are now, condemning Trump for doing exactly what Obama did and to some extent what Biden did.
You know, Greg, I'm reading from the superseding indictment itself, and to your point, that it says just on literally the third paragraph that Maduro sits atop a corrupt, illegitimate government that for decades has leveraged government power to protect and promote illegal activity, including drug trafficking. So when we hear from Democrat Congress members saying that this was a illegal activity, and we know there are the specific charges, the 4 charges that Tommy outlined for us, but this also paints a picture that suggests that not only did they have the right to go after him and arrest a indicted narco trafficker, but yet it paints the picture that it was specifically sitting atop that illegitimate government.
Man, these are all lies. These are all lies, man. See, the truth is they wanted that damn oil, man. It's as simple as that. It's as simple. Listen, it's as simple as this right here. Hold on. I'm gonna let you hear from their mouths. I'm gonna let you hear from Trump's mouth.
How about we're buying oil from Venezuela? When I left, Venezuela was ready to collapse. We would have taken it over. We would have gotten all that oil. It would have been right next door. But now we're buying oil from Venezuela, so we're making a dictator very rich. Can you believe this? Nobody can believe it. You know where their oil is garbage. It's hard. How about we're buying oil from Venezuela? When I left, Venezuela was ready to collapse. We would have taken it over. We would have gotten all that oil. It would have been right next door. But now we're buying oil from Venezuela, so we're making a dictator very rich.
Fatality. That's what it's all about, man. That's what it's about. And see, he's going to bring judgment to America. Well, the Most High is going to bring the judgment, but Trump is being used too. Daniel 8:25 tells us, and though his policy also, he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand. He shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace destroy many. Isn't this the same cat that they trying to give the Nobel Peace Prize to? Isn't this the same guy just 2 days ago he was spotted when they asked him what he wanted for 2026, and he said world peace. This is a guy that was petitioning for the Nobel Peace Prize. Now watch this, Daniel 8:25, because Trump is a modern day Nebuchadnezzar. And through his policy, also he caused craft to prosper in his hand. And he shall magnify himself in his heart, and peace shall destroy many. When these people scream peace, peace, know that war is a mist. Anytime these people screaming peace, know that war is coming, y'all. I'm telling you.
How about we're buying oil from Venezuela? When I left, Venezuela was ready.
Hold on.
Literally the first weekend into 2026, and we're already throwing this crap. Elon Musk says Neuralink will mass produce brain chips in 2026. You have to stay till the end of this video because this gets crazy. Wait to the end. But do we understand what this truly means? This is him saying that we're going to put chips in our brains so we can control technology, we can control computers, phones, doors, whatever, with thought. Sounds awesome, right? Sounds cool, right? Wrong. This is going to lead us down a dark road where we're going to start to worship AI instead of God, where people are literally going to start to think made in the image of AI instead of made in the image of God. Anyone who gets this chip will have been fooled. Stay with me, this gets crazy. So we know the New Testament was written in Greek, right? Well, if you type in Neuralink, in a Greek beta gematria, this isn't joke. This translates words into actual numerical values. Gives you a number for words. Guys, this isn't a joke. I screen recorded it myself, and you can go on there and do it yourself too if you don't believe me. Watch. Watch. This is me typing it in. Neuralink. If you think I'm over spiritualizing, you're sadly mistaken. This is not a coincidence. I'm telling you all, it seems cool, it seems awesome, but do not get that chip. Literally the
And that is what's coming, the mark of the beast. They need this war to usher in a new financial system. They need this war to push the Neuralink. They need this war to continue to push strides in artificial intelligence. The Bible tells us if the Most High didn't send his son, then no flesh would survive what these evildoers are putting in place. No flesh would survive it. And see this J.D. Vance guy with Peter Tosh? That's what we need to look out for. Like I told y'all at the beginning of this stream, I don't think Trump got long left. I don't think Trump will be here much longer. And this is the reason why he's crashing out the way he is. This is the reason why he's been so gung-ho on warfare. Trying to push the beast system. Revelations warn us about exactly what we're seeing when it says, and he shall cause all, small and great, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or forehead, that he may not buy or sell, saith he have the mark. Neuralink is attached to the 666 mark system, the number of the beast, the name of the beast, and the image of the beast. We have been crying aloud, talking about this for years, and people have been saying that we are conspiracy theorists. We simply have been telling you the truth from a biblical perspective. And when those scriptures says he will cause all, notice it says cause, not force. Through confusion, contention, war, protest, commotions, it will cause people to go receive the mark. And it says all, free and bond, rich and poor, That doesn't mean every breathing soul. It just means people from all walks of life. People from all walks of life will be lining up. People that you brothers and sisters know. Some of you all, you're going to look around and some of the people you thought you knew. And I think I meant to say Peter Thiel. Peter Thiel. Peter Thiel or Peter Thiel, not Peter Tosh. I'm gonna show you who I'm talking about, who promoted JD Vance. I'll just give me one moment and I'm gonna pull that up for y'all, all right? All right. Matter of fact, hold on, I can look it up right here. Give me a moment because, like I said, Trump is running out of time. He won't be president for too much longer. Yeah, it's Peter Thiel. I don't know why I said Peter Tosh. I'm thinking about the reggae singer, man. Peter Tosh is a legendary reggae singer. I mean, y'all just, somebody corrected me. Great, thank you for that. I'm going to show you who I'm talking about. Let's see if I can pull up a picture of this guy. Peter Thiel is his name. The guy who co-founder of PayPal. He was an early investor in Facebook. U.S. military. You know, he's connected with data analytics, intelligence agencies, surveillance and battlefield decision making. Also, he helped get JD Vance in office by funding him. Let me see if I can pull a picture of this guy, because we got to give a face behind these devils. Yep. Yeah, the blood drinking Satanists. Matter of fact, I might have to find a whole video on this guy. Because he's somebody to look out for, man. Not just Elon. I got pictures of him. Hold on. Let me see. I can put like this. He has a Plantier company called Plantier. Another psychopath. Another psychopath. See, some of these names, a lot of people don't be hip towards, and some of y'all be finding out about these people here first. So let's just do a quick Google search on this guy. We'll go right to Wikipedia on him. This guy right here. A German-American entrepreneur. Hold on. Look at this. According to New York Times, December 2025, Bill's estimate net worth is $27.5 billion, making him among the top 100 richest individual in the world. And he's doing a lot of things in South Africa too. Y'all notice something? There's a lot of celebrities, everybody, all these podcasters. They got Nicki Minaj. I just seen DDG. They got all these people doing all this stuff in Africa, man. I think we should keep an eye on that. But yeah, this is Planter's CEO. And I'm talking about this an evil bastard. This is one of those guys that's going to really be pushing in the New World Order. He's already responsible behind the scenes for a lot of stuff we see today. It's German. And this is also the guy, you know, the founder of Plantier Technologies. This is also the guy that pretty much got JD Vance in position, because this guy's going to be really pushing that AI heavy. So I just thought, you know, you would get an idea who this guy is. Peter Thiel. But pretty soon I'm gonna do a real breakdown on all he's done. I just thought I'd show y'all this real quick. Thought I'd show you that. But it's real, y'all. It's real. I'm telling you, man, Trump done pushed the button, man. Some of our people are reacting.
Trump, you know I don't get involved in politics, but please tell me on the third day of 2026, you did not go to Venezuela and take their fucking president and put him in a tight suit. Trump, on the third day, you went to Venezuela, succeeded in the whole attack, whatever you did, put their president in a Nike tech and brought his ass back to the U.S.? What the fuck you gonna do with him? You gonna make him rap now? Like, why don't you put him in a tech? Trump, somebody gonna fuck around and take you one day. You gotta stop, Trump. You out here bugging. You taking people now?
Man, I'm telling you, man. I know people cracking their jokes, man. He got the big ass block phone. But I'm telling you, man, this guy Trump is way out of pocket. He way out of pocket, y'all. He out of pocket, y'all. Like, I don't know if Trump got dementia. He just trying to do whatever he can do, but the phone is kind of taking me out right here.
Duquad got studio time. Y'all about to make the nigga rap? Alright, Trump. Alright.
Man, I'm telling you, man. You snatch a man and his wife up? You go snatch you go snatch Nicolas Maduro and his wife and take them to New York and say, look, y'all finna stand trial. In the middle of Saturday morning. It ain't even dusk yet. It's the third day of the new year. After you didn't bomb Nigeria on Christmas Day? Yo, did somebody give Trump a death sentence? Did somebody tell Trump, look, you got 3 months to wild the fuck out? They say that Trump tweeted 100 times on Christmas and then bombed Nigeria. It ain't even been a week. And then he goes and bombs Venezuela on the Sabbath and kidnap a man and his wife. Is this not a crash out? Then they threw the man in a Nike tech suit. But why though? Crazy work. This is crazy work. Maduro and his wife is up in New York right now. They just arrived. They facing narco-terrorist charges. If you gain an understanding, edification, man, make sure y'all get the likes up. The chat has y'all been off the chain, man. Y'all been nothing short of interactive. The chat rate has been sky high this broadcast. The engagement's been great. Let's continue to engage if y'all want to stay live. Man, let's get into it.
That justifies the administration's actions, but yet the Democrats call it illegal, and even some are pointing to the Article 2, Paragraph 4 of the UN Charter that pertains to the sovereignty of other countries.
Yeah, well, the UN Charter is not worth the paper it's written on. Its only good use is at the bottom of a bird.
Oh, that's Brother Tahan. Oh, man, Tahan, I timed you out earlier. My bad, Tahan. My bad, my brother, my bad. I didn't realize that was you, man. Tahan says, tapping in, keep bringing the truth out, bro. Trump's transgression shall not go unpunished. Their time to carry out wickedness is coming to a close. The righteous got next. Yeah, man, thank you for the support, bro. Yeah, I timed you out earlier. You had sound issues. That was my bad, bro. That was a little heavy-handed on that. That's the brother right there. I know him for real. You know, some of the people y'all see in my chat, I know them in real life. I either met them in person, spoke to them on the phone, or we have mutual friends and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of those brothers. Man, my brother. Hope everything going good with you.
Cage. Trump did not need permission from Congress or the UN to act. His authority is inherent in Article 2, Section 2 of the Constitution. Indeed, presidents have long taken military action over the last 200 years on their own to protect American citizens, to defend national security without consulting Congress. So, you know, the predictable condemnation.
See, that little interaction right there reminds me not to be too heavy-handed with that block and that timeout. Because what if it's somebody you know? He said his computer was spazzing out. But no, that's real talk. That was a lesson right there I just learned. Don't be so heavy-handed. Because I can be heavy-handed sometimes. But not as heavy-handed as Donald Trump out here snatching people up in the middle of the night. Not that heavy-handed. Yeah, sometimes the YouTube app do be tweaking. And everybody, if y'all can get the likes matching the views, we'll have well over 1,000 people viewing tonight. So do me a solid and get the likes up. Let's go.
From Democrats, I think, is more hysterical and driven by politics, but not law. I've heard some say, oh, the War Powers Resolution. That resolution in 1973 is not a prohibition on a president. It is a notification requirement, and that's about it. And beyond that, and Griff, I heard you talking about this earlier today when we were chatting, you know, Trump can rely on the AUMF, the Authorization for Use of Military Force. Congress passed it a week after 9/11. It gives a president.
Oh, Patriot Act. Oh, they found a loophole. They found a loophole. Somebody said it is over 1,000 watching. I believe it is. It's over 5,000 watching, but they're not showing us who really watching. Sorry about the echo, but Patriot Act. They found a loophole. That's how they were able to kidnap that boy. That is an actual loophole.
President the unilateral power to capture or eliminate terrorists, which would include narco-terrorists like Maduro.
You know, the United States government can snatch up whoever the hell they want to snatch up after the Patriot Act, technically. If they just wanted to, you know, snatch up anyone that they label some type of teist, anybody they want to label that, they can go in the heat of the night and snatch them. But the question is, who determines if they're that or not? So yeah, that is the loophole. That technically is the loophole. That's how a lot of people got waterboarded and tortured and snatched up in the middle of the night. You know, Trump just exercised an actual loophole. He really did, y'all. I mean, they got us on that one. I can't no longer say that it was, well, I mean, still kidnapping, technically. We can see why we can no longer say, well, what about Congress? There's so many gray areas, man. Because although he just committed an act of war, They found a gray area. I mean, this is a leader of another country, man. It's crazy.
So, foursquare, the law is on the side of this president for acting as he did. And, I think the template, we've seen this movie before, was Panama in 1989. And Noriega was convicted and sent to the Hooskow. I think Maduro is destined for the Supermax in Colorado, which is known as the Alcatraz of the Rockies.
They said Maduro and his wife Maduro and his wife head to NY to face criminal charges. They finna lock him and the wife up in damn alligator Alcatraz, bro. Them Fox News analysts, they sound excited. They sound excited about this. See, this is a white supremacy flex. This is a white supremacy flex. Those analysts, they're excited. They like to see a white supremacist flex his power like that. Because, a lot of these MAGAs are living vicariously through Trump. That's right. Ain't no gray areas with the Most High, though. Ain't no gray areas with the Most High. Leave that.
Greg, thank you so much for joining us with your expertise, your legal expertise. Griff just read a little bit from the indictment. I want to do that as well because conspiracy is a big part of this, multiple conspiracy charges. And it says that Nicolas Maduro is at the forefront of that corruption and is partnered with his co-conspirators to use his illegally obtained authority and the institutions he corroded to transport thousands of tons of cocaine into the United States. I mean, the indictment goes on much further, 25 pages, talking about the different people that have been involved in this, including his wife, his son, and another man named Hector Russensford Guerrero Flores, who is believed to be very high up in Trendy-Aragua. Your thoughts on the conspiracy?
Man, let's keep it a buck, man. What world leader ain't never have their hands in no drugs? You know what I'm saying? What world leader ain't never got a position of power based on some drug money? Let's just keep it a buck. Not saying that he was involved because we don't know. However, what mayor, governor, state attorney of any sort ain't never had some funding that came by some hand-to-hand transactions? Let's just keep it 1,000. The world we live in, that's how things operate. We got to stop acting like America haven't enriched itself off of drugs. And we got to stop acting like the CIA don't have their hands in the drug trade. They all dirty. You know how many envelopes these politicians get handed that come from straight drug money? You know how many envelopes they get handed just to get their campaign on the right track that came from hand-to-hand transactions directly? Straight from the streets to put people in office? That's the way of the world. Let's just keep it 1,000. It's only considered corruption or illegal with America if they can't eat off of it the way they want to eat.
Conspiracy angle of this, the number of parties and how that'll be addressed.
Oh boy, the number of parties conceivably could expand exponentially because just about everybody in his government was involved in this grand conspiracy of, looting the government and profiting off of, narco-terrorism. This dates back all the way to Maduro's predecessor, Hugo Chavez. When he died, Maduro took over. It was more of the same. Our government has been investigating those involved in the paper trail for more than a decade. And, particularly the transfer of funds, into shell corporations and the money hidden overseas and the money laundering in the extreme. And, I suspect they have the goods on them. There may be some plea deals with other defendants.
Man, they're going to get that man a double life sentence, y'all. Him and his wife. And Duro and his wife going to get like a double life sentence. Watch. I want to go to a scripture here. I want to go to a scripture here. Revelation 6:4. And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth. That is right there what's happening right now. You got somebody screaming peace while peace is being extracted. And we living in them times, man. I don't know how many more world leaders they're going to be able to get away with doing.
I find it interesting that Maduro's wife has now been named in the superseding indictment. I would expect them to, make a deal.
Man, just listen. His wife ain't got nothing to do with it, bro.
And we have seen this before in drug cartel cases where spouses flip. And they prove to be some of the most powerful witnesses of all because they knew what was going on and where all the money was hidden.
Wow. These heathens are dirty. These heathens are dirty. They done snatched her up trying to make her flip on her husband. They probably waterboarding her right now as we speak. Right now as we speak, they probably got her tied up and practicing shock treatment. All kind of interrogation tactics are being used on her right now to get her to flip and tell them where the money at. That's what they concerned about. Well, where's all the money at? Crazy.
Greg, Mexico's President Claudia Sheinbaum has criticized this, saying it's in violation of international law. Previously, the United States, and I think of El Chapo, you talk about the Supermax, one of the residents there is El Chapo. That operation to arrest El Chapo put the Mexican Marines, the FBI, the DEA working together to get that done. Do you think that President Sheinbaum is concerned that the next time an El Chapo in Mexico is arrested, that it won't be the result of cooperation with her country, it'll be a unilateral operation?
Well, and you're right, and Trump has said so. So, she's going to have a few sleepless nights from here on out. She saw the power of the American military and the determination of President Trump to rid the United States of this.
Yo, them white supremacists, they getting a kick out of this. You can tell by the commentators. Listen, let me tell you something. Them so-called good old boys, them MAGAs, oh man, listen. Them Proud Boys, they out here acting real moist about this situation. They feeling some type of way. They like, yeah, See, this right here, this type of power flex for them, it reinvigorates the base. Yeah, they laughing about it. This reinvigorates the base right here. I'm gonna tell you, even like, your Nick Fuentes's and all of them, they like stuff like this. It reasserts power. It reasserts white supremacy. It's a flex. It's a power move. And in the way Trump went about doing it, it's a major flex. It demands respect from the white supremacist base. Even though we know that more than likely it wasn't his call. But America First, they feel good about this. Meanwhile, most American citizens don't want it. Most American citizens don't have no problem with Venezuelan people. Yeah, Moist MAGA is they feeling this right now. Moist MAGA, Dirty MAGA. They feeling this right now.
Scourge of these horrendous drugs, not just cocaine, but obviously other drugs infused with deadly fentanyl. A lot of the ingredients come from China. They go into Mexico. They get mixed and distributed from Mexico, smuggled into the United States, and they kill people. Sometimes upwards of 80,000 young people a year in America. Mexico's a villain in all of this and have scarcely lifted a finger. Some of their efforts are nothing more than a charade. And so, I think suddenly the head of Mexico has got a case of the for reals and see what's coming down the line unless she does something aggressively to stop it.
Greg, question for you is
the head of Mexico. So I'm telling you, man, they going on a whole conquest. It's like the Renaissance period all over again. They just gonna scour the nations for oil, minerals, and resources right in everybody's face. And think that war is not going to come to America because of it. Now, Babylon is going to fall. We're in the last days of Babylon. And wait till things really hit the fan. My voice is going to echo in a lot of people's heads when things really hit America, when the commotions really begin, when the purge really starts, where you see more home burglaries and break-ins, and then there's a lack of bread. And you seeing American citizens picking up their arms, trying to figure out what direction they're fighting, or what direction they come in and how to fight, and who they're fighting. When the mass majority of America start becoming food deserts, and there's checkpoints when you riding down the street and they saying, what kind of American are you? And there's universal basic income. And if you don't accept the universal basic income, you get outcasted and you find it hard to get housing. When America gets to a point of the people that you're around, those are the people you're going to have to stay around because it ain't going to be no motion. When they start shutting down flights again, when martial law is announced in America, because it's war, and there is a certain time you got to be in the house. There's curfews on every major city. Then people going to say, damn, what happened? No, it was all fun and games when this man was kidnapping people, bombing people. That was all fun and games when they was bombing Yemen, Iran, Venezuela, Nigeria. When they were doing all of this in 1 year, just bombing the hell out of small countries, it was all good. But when that payback come, oh, it's going to be issues. Oh, when we speaking about it from a biblical perspective, you guys are fear mongering. Oh, fear mongering, are we? Fear mongering until the mass majority of the country is in food lines, food banks, and they run out of food. See, once they get enough robots and drones, they're going to really take it to the next level. That's why they need the resources. So they can bring RoboCop and them out. Only people that should be afraid is the sinners. Only people that should be afraid is people who took part in persecuting the children of God. Only people that should be afraid is people who took part in holding our people in captivity, because we're the people of God. That's the only people that should be afraid. The evildoers who are putting the world through all of this unnecessary stress and tension. It's not real until everybody got to have a chip in their hand to go buy and sell. That's when it becomes real.
Well, you kind of alluded to the fact that any dispute here over if the president had the authority to carry this out is laughable, but Democrats certainly don't see it that way, and it's all over social media for an indication there, as well as on other networks. We've got the new mayor here in New York City, Zoran Mondani, obviously expressing his anger over this. You had Maxine Waters, Congresswoman Maxine Waters, calling this an abduction. It seems as though they're contesting your assertion that the president was within his legal authority and jurisdiction to carry this out. Can you speak to that a little bit as well for those that are following on social media and they're not entirely sure if what happened was legal or not?
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking at any treaty, generally it contains a clause that says, the United States, if it doesn't agree to absolve or protect somebody within a given nation, they can go in and seize individuals who are committing crimes, crimes that harm the United States. The United Nations Charter, as I say, feckless organization, structurally so, any condemnation or action against the U.S.
I'm sorry, but Maduro's wife do not look like a drug dealer. She's like a sweet old lady that's just, living her life, bro. But Maduro don't look like a drug boss either. These look like a people that's respected in their country, that just got railroaded by Babylon.
U.S. would have to go through the Security Council, and of course the United States has veto power. So there's China, Russia, France, the UK, and so forth. So, I understand the intent behind the United Nations, but it hasn't proven to be very effective over the decades. I do think that they have developed a case over the years that is powerful. I think that Maduro and his legal counsel will argue that he has immunity. But our courts have said, sorry, that really doesn't exist. And our courts don't really care about the consequences surrounding how a defendant is captured and brought to justice, but rather what happens in dispensing justice in their courts.
Greg Jarrett, thank you so much for joining us. We're going to bring you back later in the show for more of your legal.
Yep. Earlier today, I went over Maduro's plea to Donald Trump. That was quite interesting. You can tell he got caught off guard with all of this. I want to say this. With all that is being covered, all that's being said, turn to the Messiah. I'm called Jesus Christ. Some call Yeshua, some call Yeshaya, some call Yeshua HaMashiach. Turn to the one they call Christ, the Lord and Savior. And understand that he was sacrificed for the remission of our sins. And only through his blood shed on Calvary, we can make it. And the Bible says, pray that we be counted worthy of all of this. With all that's going on, pray that we be counted worthy. Some of you all out there, you've been warning friends. You've been warning family. You've been very active with blowing the trumpet. And for some of you all, you've been ostracized, criticized, hated, betrayed. Just know that they hated him before they hated you. Continue to be long suffering. Through him, all things are possible. You can be strengthened as long as you got another day to get this right. Some of us have been on the deep side of the wrong side. But the fact that you got another opportunity to live another day, never take that for granted. He can get you to overcome your sins. And when you do, when you begin to level up, don't go back to your old ways and understand that the Most High can carry you the distance. The world, many are going to fall. The Bible says a third of man shall fall. A third of man. That's prophecy. 3/4 of this planet is going to fall. But I want you to understand, even through death, the Most High's people shall have everlasting life. But in whatever dispensation that we're given, through Christ, when our time is up, it's going to be the right time. And whatever purpose we're supposed to fulfill, as long as we're operating through the Messiah, he's going to take us the distance. You can't rely on man. You can't rely on people. Not saying you don't have people in your corner that love you, but the one that will never forsake you is the Messiah, is the Almighty. With every temptation in your life that may have hindered your walk, brothers and sisters, with every temptation that may have hindered you, know that the Most High make a way to escape that said temptation. I'm living proof of it. There's a lot of you brothers and sisters who are also living proof of it. None of us deserve what we have here today, and that is the ability to have another day. We didn't deserve it. We didn't get here by our own merit. And because we warn the world doesn't mean we believe that we're perfect. But we warn the world because we done been to some of the darkest trenches and made it on the other side. And a lot of God's chosen people know what hell feels like to a degree. Because either we put ourselves through hell or we've been through hell in general. And we don't really want that for people. Because we know what the Most High can do is a lot more powerful than what man can do. But what we do know, brothers and sisters, is he can carry us the distance. And even though we see what's going on, we're not afraid. We're not in fear. But we're diligent and we're watchful. And we understand that these are the signs of the times. And when Christ come back, and he's coming back, when the Messiah come back, he's coming back for bloodshed and vengeance of these wicked heathens. And it's going to be a beautiful, troubling day of wrath and judgment. And the Bible says that Christ will wear the crown of every nation upon his head. And his robe will be dripped in blood as if he was treading a wine press all alone. So when we see these people doing what they do, We may be a bit perplexed that they don't see what's coming, but we see what's coming. Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. These nations gonna be judged. I don't care how many underground tunnels they got. I don't care how many caves they got. I don't care how many underground cities they got. The Most High is going to judge these people. Now, war is coming. But at the end of all of this, just know the Most High is going to set his people free. Look, hopefully this particular message edified you. If it did, make sure you like, comment, share my material. If you're not subscribed, make sure you hit the subscribe button. We got much more material coming, man. I am looking forward to building with y'all further. I want to thank everybody for showing up. Y'all are an amazing audience. Y'all been nothing short of interactive. It's a beautiful thing building with the like-minded. Till next time, with that being said,